My name is Zion Gray, and this is the start of our adventures. I met the Hollow Bastion in a mansion. I was there employed for work, and they were taking the same job notice that I had. I was waiting in the estate, and I saw several people enter. There was a woman, tan and blonde, a cleric, then an elf, a druid in foreign attire, a half-orc with pale skin. I couldn't really get a grip on what he was. And there was an odd-looking girl and a greenish drow who seemed to be in the same kind of occupation as I was. I helped them solve riddles and unlock the vault, where we found the customer lying in a pool of gold. We approached, only to be assaulted by the gold pieces. It stuck to the party members, and it started eating away at the skin, burrowing into it. Evelyn, the tall cleric, fell unconscious after one buried into the back of her neck. I stayed from a distance and tried shooting at the small gold coins, and after some struggle and Evelyn nearly dying, we managed to succeed and recover and pull the customer out from the vault. We escaped the vault and received our rewards, which were many magical items. I didn't really feel like I did much to deserve rewards, so I just took the gold part and let them have their fill of the magic items. I didn't have any other jobs lined up, so I joined them on their next quest. They had to go to a farm to investigate animals dying of mysterious causes, and it was found to be a vampire-like monster. We take care of it and leave, only to be getting ambushed by Rio, the Drow's old acquaintances. I take fire at the cart that they're carrying with them and started a light. As it burns, the coffins inside burn with it, releasing whatever's inside. I get swallowed by the undead monster lurking from one of the coffins in the back. The party kill it and free me, even though they could have left me for dead. This builds the first ring of trust. They told me they needed to go to Elevast, and despite my history with the country, I didn't really want to leave the group just yet. I prepared to face my homeland as we board the Obsidian Gale, manned by Captain Rosa and her crew, and we leave together. Events on the first leg of our journey are somewhat hazy for me. For the most part, the waters were calm. I did see these amazing creatures, though. They leapt from the waters as if they were flying. They had these large black bodies with white markings. There were a lot as well. I think they traveled in packs. Beyond that, the peace did not last. We were attacked by these undead fishmen who had these weird translucent bodies. We had won, but I was then infected by the disease that they carried. Doomed to die in the air, I told them to throw me overboard, but the party insisted with Captain Rosa. I was given a temporary body from the captain and her crew, and I was saved from a fate worse than death. That was the second ring of trust, and I slowly felt myself opening up more. There was also an abandoned research center on the back of this giant turtle. There were these wild magic pools and exploding rainbow frogs everywhere, but no people. After looting and fighting this wild magic toad, we left with information on the Institute, the organization my party had been hunting down. But we couldn't think on that too long, though, for we had reached Alavast. As we reached Alavast, Evelyn asked the captain for a favor. In return, we just needed to hunt down this large horned beast. But first, the party took me to a temple to have my body fixed. Not only was that the first time a servant of God ever helped me, but it was the first time a group went out of their way to help me, I guess. It made me want to protect them. After some shopping, we head out of the town. In the woods, we fight off a team pickpocket and their money-throwing cat. When I saw its habit, I threw the money back and hit it in the forehead. We win the fight and continue looking for the beast. I find it on accident when I stumble into its territory. After calming it down, Aureniel the druid tries for several moments to catch its reflection in the mirror so that it can be caught in the mirror. And after successfully catching it, we return. On our way back, we are ambushed by this masked figure. He introduces himself as Maladius, and he's a professor of the Institute. He sicks these husked zombies upon us, thinking that they will kill us. But we overpower them, and after some concerned talking amongst us, we head back to the city, give the mirror to Captain Rosa, get Evelyn's mother's body to bring back to Anacalypse, and prepare for Hoketh's harrowing. Evelyn, a cleric of Hoketh, had prepared costumes for us to wear as we went to the festival. There was a parade of the dead carried throughout the town so people could leave offerings. The dead reminded me of those many I had killed, so I decided to stay out of the procession. My party participated, though, and we followed the procession to the graveyard where the dead were returned to their graves. I stayed outside of the cemetery to give them their space. I feel like the dead and me don't really get along. After the procession, we went to different events. Evelyn and I teamed up to win a belly dancing competition. I put on the appearance of a young woman that I had met long ago. But initially we were supposed to be dancing against each other, But by the end of it, we were dancing together, and it was really fun. We ended up winning, and the prize was a pair of earrings. We split the earrings and moved on to a different competition. A pumpkin carving competition with Yibriel. Yibriel ended up winning the competition with their amazing pumpkin carving skills. I just carved out a raven. I participated in an archery competition with Rio, and I ended up winning a bow. And then with Aurenial, we participated in a challenge of flames where we had to have these flaming pieces of wood piled onto our back, and whoever whoever lasted the longest was the winner. I ended up winning, and I got a dragon lighter as a prize. We were having fun and enjoying the festival when all of a sudden a skull formed in the clouds. A voice rang out, threatening the people of Alavast, saying that their lives were forfeit. Screams rang out, and this one-eyed owlbear tore through the crowd. We ran to get our weapons, but Ibriel went after the owlbear unarmed. We ran to the ship and saw it was under attack by something. After grabbing our gear, we head back to get Yibi. I glanced into the water and noticed a giant cat-like fish swimming under the boat. We ran into the city, but the streets were swarmed with these gray husks of people that attacked us as we made our way through. After some struggle, we eventually found Yibriel and fled back to the ship. Rio and I started lighting the bodies on fire, and that helped make us a path through. When we got back, the ship was being targeted from this catfish monster. We kill it just as the ground shakes behind us. I turn around just in time to see a giant jeweled fish grab Jorhas in its mouth and fly into the sky. Rio holds something up, and next thing I know, I'm in her body, my own face looking at me. Without another moment's hesitation, myself and I go to work shooting the fish out of the sky. The spell wears off as we pull Jorhas, the bard, from the water. I found out later that Rio had become Evelyn. Evelyn had become Jorhas. Jorhas had become Yibriel. Yibriel had become Aurenial. Aurenial had become me. I had become Rio. We patched up the ship and tended to the wounded, and slept as peacefully as we could for the rest of the night. Morning, the guards came to inspect the incident from the night before. Since we had come a few days prior to the incident, we were suspects, so we were taken for questioning. As we were put into a cell, my face had fallen. Evelyn and Aurenial helped me hide my form from the guards and calm down. When it was my turn for questioning, my face returned. I started my rant, and I went off on how the guards weren't doing their jobs, the gods aren't helping anyone unless it's for coin, and if it weren't for us, there'd be a lot more casualties. I told them of the turtle lab, the rhino hunt, and I remembered the raven-masked guy who tried to kill us with the same grey zombies. How he was there last night, on the owlbear. They were upset at my outburst, but took my information anyway. Then they threw me into a cell by myself. I was under arrest for 3 days for making a scene. But while I was there, I was able to reconcile and befriend one of the guards, Barnabas, a Black Panther Tabaxi, and a Paladin of Hoketh. On the third day, my friends came to get me, and we left for the sea.